Let's see if that's in the Bible. He said they end up being a curse in your life. So many of you got people around you who are cursing your life. You trust on them more than you trust on God. And you in the truth with friends like this, who when you do something wrong and leadership gets on you, you go and murmur and complain to them. And y'all have a good sob fest for about an hour and a half, and you never change your behavior. And you wonder why you're not growing. It's because your friendship has not been directed right.
Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit.
That's many of us. You trust in lying words. We trust in lying words a lot of the time. We getting enabled to do wickedness, and somebody lie to you and tell you, oh, it ain't your fault. It's all good, man. Oh, don't worry about that, what they just said. They pat you on your back. You be like, okay, bro. You right.
That's a setup, bro.
It's damn sure set up. Because now you start trusting in that rather than the consequences if you don't get it right.
Niggas dying over dollars, I call that idolatry. Niggas robbing family dollars just to shop at Dollar Tree.
Don't make no sense.
He died with his hands up, innocent, yeah, that's me. Hair like wool, yeah, that's sheep.
All right, shalom, family, most high in Christ. Bless. I'm Officer Jadiel, IUIC San Diego, and today we're going to get into it. Our class title is Enablers, Excuses, Enemies, and Enmity. Right? I'm going to say it again. It's a whole lot of ease, right? Make it real easy for you. Enablers, Excuses, Enemies, and Enmity. All right, we're going to start with 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Let's start there. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. Let's get that first. Let's see.
The book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 1. This second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance.
So Peter wanted to stir up their minds by way of remembrance. What he wanted the people to do is to reflect. That was the whole point. Why did he want the people to reflect? Keep going.
Verse 2. That ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts.
Right. In the last days, he said there would be scoffers walking after their own lusts. Now, I want you to give me that definition. I think I sent you the definition of scoffers, right? I want to look up that word. He said in the last days, there'll be scoffers that walk after their own lusts, right? So what does it mean to be a scoffer, to scoff? Let's read this definition.
Scoffer, a person who mocks or makes fun of someone or something.
Okay, so he said in the last days, you're going to have people who make fun of you being in the truth, who make jokes or say things about you to deter you from keeping the commandments because they're following after their own lust. Read that definition one more time.
A person who mocks or makes fun of someone or something, often of religion or moral values.
Okay, so they make fun of your religion or your moral values. For example, you may say, I don't eat pork because the Bible says so, and they will make fun of that. Oh, look at this brother. He's trying to keep commandments, right? You may say, I dress a certain way. I don't go to the parties no more. They're going to say, oh, you got one wife, you gay. Those are scoffers, people that make fun of you having moral values. Read it again now in the Bible.
Yes, sir. 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse, you want to start back in verse 3?
Yes, sir.
Verse 3 again. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts.
Right, so the scoffers will walk after their own lusts. Go ahead.
And saying, where is the promise of his coming?
Where's the promise of Christ? We ain't seen no Christ. Ain't no sky daddy coming is what they like to say. Go ahead, because they're scoffers. Go ahead.
For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
Right. All things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. This is the mentality of many of our people. So let's go to Jude chapter 1. We're going to read verse 14. This is the world we live in. We live in a world where people love evil. They love evil. They despise the light. They despise the right thing to do. So in many of our people's minds, scoffing is natural. It's a regular thing to do. Read verse 14. Jude 1 and verse 14.
Jude chapter 1 verse 14.
Come on.
And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with tens of thousands of his saints.
Right. So Enoch prophesied that the Lord was going to return with his saints. Go ahead.
To execute judgment upon all.
He was going to execute judgment. Go ahead.
And to convince all that are ungodly among them.
The same scoffers. He was going to convince them, because when the Lord returns, it's not going to be a joke anymore. Go ahead.
And to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against him.
Because that's what a scoffer doesn't realize. When they're speaking and they're mocking and they're making fun of you keeping the commandments, they're actually talking against God. Read.
Verse 16. These are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts.
Right? You see what it says? These people that have this spirit in these days, the way that they will manifest themselves, they're going to be the murmurers amongst the congregation. They're going to be the complainers amongst the congregation, walking after their own lusts. Come on.
And their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration.
They like certain people with certain positions and titles. They flatter. That's what it says. They have men's admiration, men's persons in admiration, meaning the level you play or the role you play. So these people will speak well to you, but in reality, they want to follow their own lusts. Go ahead.
Having men's persons in admiration because of advantage.
Because they see a benefit for them. Read.
But, beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before of the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Read.
How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time.
Right. He said there will be mockers in the last time. Right. I want you to look up mocker now. He said there will be mockers in the last times. I think I had mockers later in the class, but I want to pull it up right now. He said there will be mockers in the last times, because you might look around and say, okay, well, why does everybody get on me? Why does everybody got something to say? Right? I want mockers, not anomaly. MOCKERS. Just search it. So that's all you got to do. Go back to dictionary.com and look it up. Read that verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse 18. How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time.
Right. So the apostles had already told the people that there should be mockers in the last time. So let's look at what this definition of mockers is.
Mockers. Put the mockers on informal.
Okay. Let's go up. Look up mocker or mock. A mocker is someone who mocks. Go ahead. Read that.
Mock. To attack or treat with ridicule, contempt, or derision. To ridicule by mimicry of action or speech. Mimic derisively.
Right. So the whole purpose of mimicking you is to make fun of you. It's the same thing as a scoffer. Now read verse 18 again, because this is the world you live in. The world you live in is going to mock you. They're going to scoff against you because of you keeping the commandments of God. Read verse 18 again.
Jude verse 18. How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time, who should walk after their own ungodly lusts.
Right. Who should walk after their own ungodly lusts. So that's what you find in the world today. Now give me the first video that I sent. Should all be in order. Just give me the first one with Boozy.
Lady at the game asked me, why did I do that to Jesus? She said, Jesus is not going to like that. I told her I'm showing everybody to give him the glory. She said, I don't think Jesus is going to like that. I differ. I'm going to wear my Bible piece next time. See what she going to say. Woo!
So you see the foolishness among these rappers. These are the people in our culture, right? He has on a big image of white Jesus. Give me the next video. Let's see. Let's see this guy. These are the rappers that people in our community follow who walk after their own lusts. He got a double cup, and he's drinking, and he's talking about, I'm telling everybody to follow Jesus. Let's see this one now. Hit play on this.
About the Jesus piece, because it's a lot of weak-ass Jesus pieces. A lot of these rappers got whack-ass Jesus pieces, all right? That probably cost like under 5,000 or 2,000 or 500. This right here, that is the best Jesus piece, man. Shout out to Jacob the jeweler. And it's not just me saying that. Everybody be saying Jacob got the best Jesus piece. Shout out to Jacob and Ye who really went in and redesigned this thing right here, man, with the enamel, the detail. He got red tears. People say it's white Jesus. I like to believe it's just light-skinned Jesus. You know, just not all the way black. It's all good, though. I mean, look at the world. We're not all the way black no more anyway. So I feel like this is the perfect chain.
This is the mentality of a lot of our people. I said one more. What's after this? This is how people think. Hit play on this one now. Watch this.
So this music
these are,
video
pause it
of
real quick.
Nas.
These are the mockers who walk after their own lusts, the ungodly scoffers who walk after their own lusts. They are mocking Jesus through these actions. Go ahead, rewind it back and play.
So this music video of Lil Nas X mocking Jesus in the Lord's Supper is going around, and it got a lot of people upset. A lot of people are talking about it. Let me tell y'all something. He's not mocking Jesus Christ, because the Son of God cannot be mocked. He's actually mocking himself. Jesus Christ is in heaven right now. You think he's worried about Lil Nas X? No. The Bible said the God of this world has blinded the mind of the unbelievers. So a lot of people you see in Hollywood get to the position that they are today because of the devil. So Lil Nas X is actually doing what he's supposed to do. So let's not get triggered about these things. Let's focus on Jesus Christ and the second coming. And God bless you.
Okay. So I played that so you can see on the top what Lil Nas X was doing. Not so much for the commentary piece. But if you see in the top, he's mimicking Jesus, right? And it's sodomite activity. He dressed all weird, right? He's rubbing on a lamb, right? The lamb is like, stop touching me. Right, the lamb feel violated in the video. You saw the lamb, man, help, right? But this is the mentality of a lot of people who claim that they're following Jesus. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 8. Let's read this. This is what the Lord said in the Bible. This is why we read in Jude that these people are going to be judged. There's going to be vengeance on them for disrespecting the Lord, for mocking him, for making fun of his second coming, and ultimately playing with his name. Isaiah 42 and 8, come on.
Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 8. Come on. I am the Lord. That is my name, and my glory will I not give to another.
Right. The Lord said his glory, he would not give it unto anyone else. That's what he said. Go ahead.
Neither my praise to graven images.
You heard that? The Lord said, I'm not going to give my praise to any of these graven images. That's what you saw in these chains. When these people are following these things, it comes with another doctrine, another mentality. It comes where you could do whatever you want. You could follow your lust. So many of us, we grew up in this world. We grew up around people who mock God. We grew up around people who thought it was funny to go against God, to do things that were against the church, to defile the name of the Lord. And then we walked around saying we were Christian at the same time, or that I believed in Jesus at the same time. This is the mentality of this world. It's a mockery to the Lord. Give me 1 John, give me Sirach 27 and verse 28. Give me that.
Shalom. John 3:16 got you flustered because you don't understand here a little, there a little, precept upon precept, line upon line. Galatians 3:28 got you a little bothered because you don't understand the history of the Maccabees. Or maybe it's Colossians chapter 2 verse 16 that got you thinking you can eat whatever you like because Paul's writings are sometimes hard to be understood. Here at IUIC, we got you. No problem. Log on to israelunite.org and find a school near you. We got that good news you can use. Shalom.
So when you see these things, you have to understand it's average, right? Most people won't even bat an eye twice. How you just watch that and you were disgusted with it, the Lil Nas X video or the white Jesus chain. Most people, that's regular. They say, yo, that's a dope Jesus chain. I like it. Damn. I like the way Boozy got a dope necklace. That's how they would look at that. Not realizing those are graven images, and the Lord said, I will not give my praise unto another. Read what you got.
Sirach chapter 27 and verse 28. Mockery and reproach are from the proud.
You heard that? That mockery comes from people that are proud. They're overly arrogant, not realizing that their day of destruction is coming, like Enoch was prophesying about. That's what it says. Enoch prophesied their death. Keep going.
But vengeance, as a lion, shall lie in wait for them.
Right. The Lord is coming like a lion to give them vengeance. That's going to happen. Read.
They that rejoice at the fall of the righteous shall be taken in the snare, and anguish shall consume them before they die.
Right. The Lord said they're going to die in anguish and pain. That's going to be the judgment for these people. So when you see this, right, you start to learn the truth. You say, man, I can't be rolling with these people. Give me Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. That's the mentality we should have. We should see all the works of the flesh in the world and take on the mindset of, nah, this is not the right way to be. I don't want to follow this. I don't want to fall into these type of behaviors because read Galatians 6 and verse 7. Paul told us something heavy right here. Watch what he says.
Galatians chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
Go ahead.
For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
So whatever a man does, he's going to face the repercussions of his actions. That's what's being said here. You are going to face the repercussions of your actions. Go ahead.
For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption.
Right. So if you sow to your flesh, you will of the flesh reap corruption, meaning death, anguish, pain. Go ahead.
But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
Right. You'll reap life everlasting, meaning you're going to be taken care of by the Lord. So we got to ask ourselves, do we walk with the mockers or do we walk with the righteous? Do we reap to the flesh or to the, do we sow to the flesh or to the Spirit? This is the conversation we should be having with ourselves, especially coming out of the world. Give me 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. So many of us that are in this truth, the choice we make is, I'm going to follow the commandments of God.
The book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Bible says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. So many of our people, we love the evil that's in the world. But then there's others of us that say we're not going to love the world. The important thing to realize in this verse, when you say love not the world, what's in the world? It's these ungodly people, these mockers and these scoffers. They're the people in the world. So when it says love not the world, it's also going into loving those people and those individuals, those people that are going to influence you and create things that follow after their lust for you to follow after them. Read it again. Watch.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Right. Many of our people love the things that are in the world. Go ahead.
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
And that's what the Bible says. If you love this world, if you enjoy the ungodliness, the mocking, the scoffing, the going against God deliberately, then the love of the Father is not in you. This is important, right? Y'all got to pay attention to this because this is going to set up why we got to talk about enablers. Keep going.
Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world.
So if you're following the lust of your flesh, right, because that's what people follow in this world, they follow the lust of their eyes, what they can see, and the pride of life. Many of our people are proud. He's telling you this is not of God. These spirits that you're going to find in your mothers, your aunties, your uncles, your fathers, your grandfathers, your grandmothers, your cousins, your nephews, your friends in the world. You're going to find these things in these people because that's how lust is enacted, through people. So he's telling you cannot love those things. You're not going to find a lust spirit floating. It's going to be enacted by someone. And he's telling you should not love it. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And the world passeth away.
All these things that you see these people doing are going to pass away. They're on the way out. Go ahead.
And the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever.
So we got a choice to make. If we do the will of God, we abide forever. But if we follow after the ungodly and follow their fleshly works, and they're mocking and they're scoffing and all these different things we read, then death is our judgment. That's our judgment. So give me Psalm chapter 101 and verse 3. So when we look at the world, we have to be able to see it that way. We got to be able to start to discern what good and what evil is. Who's following after the lust of their flesh and who's following the Bible. Read that.
Psalms 101 verse 3.
Come on.
I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes.
You see what the Lord said? I will set no wicked thing before mine eye. Go ahead.
I hate the work of them that turn aside.
Now you understand the context. The wicked thing that he won't set before his eye are wicked spirits, wicked souls. He said, I will set none before mine eye. Go ahead.
It shall not cleave to me.
So the Lord is telling you these ungodly men and women, they will not cleave to him. This is what David wrote down. Go ahead.
A froward heart shall depart from me.
A froward heart, contrary mind, will depart from the Lord. Read.
I will not know a wicked person.
The Lord said, I will not know a wicked person. We will have no relationship. A lot of people like to say I have a relationship with God, but they walk on in their lust and they mock and they scoff against God. God said, I won't know the wicked person. Read.
Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off.
That's the person who whispers and murmurs. That's what we read in Jude. Come on.
Him that hath a high look and a proud heart will I not suffer.
Right. He said, I'm not going to suffer the person who has a proud heart. Because why? We read those proud hearts are the same people who mock God. We read that in Sirach chapter 27. Read.
Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land.
But I will be looking for those that are faithful. Go ahead.
That they may dwell with me.
That they may live in the kingdom. Read.
He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me.
If you walk perfectly, uprightly before God, you're going to serve God. Read.
He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house.
Read.
He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight.
He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. You won't be before the Lord. Go ahead.
I will early destroy all the wicked of the land.
Right. The Lord said, I'm going to destroy all the wicked of the land. Read.
That I may cut off all the wicked doers from the city of the Lord.
Right. So the Lord is going to cut off all the wicked doers. So this is why Christ said, give me Matthew chapter 10 and verse 35. Now we got to see it, because what you have to see is there's wicked people in the world and there's righteous people in the world. And as you walk through the world, your job is to, one, get yourself right, and then remove the evil people from among you and stay on the right side of God. That is how you're going to deliver your soul. So Christ, this is why Christ said this, Matthew 10 and verse 35.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 35.
Let's go.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
That means there's going to be a division created. He said, I'm going to create division. Variance. Go ahead.
And the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
These are people that are close to you. These are people you would grow up with. They knew you when you was little, when you used to get called Man, Champion, Ray, Lil Man, Big Tony, whatever your nickname was growing up. These are the people that changed your diapers, that fed you at the table, put you in a high chair, that saw you play your first baseball and basketball game. He said, when I teach the Bible and you understand it, it will cause you to have variance with these very same people. You know why? Because they're the ungodly, they're the mockers, they're the scoffers. Go ahead.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
So he says your foes, your enemies, the people that are against you are going to be in your very own household. So now you may read this and say, oh, that's only talking about my family from the world. But what he's getting at is there's going to be people very close to you that will be your foes. There's going to be people very close to you that set you up for destruction. Damn. That are not looking after your best interest. That have ulterior motives, that are truly at variance with you. And you need to pay attention to that. That's what he's trying to get you to realize here. He's telling you, now that you're following this, you're not going to be able to just trust everybody. Everybody's not in the spirit. Everybody's not going to walk with me. Read the next verse. Watch what he warns them.
Verse 37. He that loveth father or mother more than me.
He wouldn't have to say this if it wasn't true that some people would. He has to say this because he understands when that variance comes in, some of you are going to choose to follow those people that you've been close to your entire life over serving me. Read that again.
He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Right. You're not worthy for the kingdom if you choose those people over me. If you choose the lust of the flesh, if you choose the people from this world that are following after their own lust. Give me Micah chapter 7 and verse 5. Micah chapter 7 and verse 5. We're going to have to drop a lot of stuff. Micah 7 and 5.
Yes, sir. Micah chapter 7 and verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide.
The Bible says, trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Here's why. Watch.
Keep the doors of the mouth of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom.
It's telling you your wife, the one that's lying on your bosom, you can't trust her with everything. Christ said the same thing. He said the people close to you, you need to watch, you need to observe, you need to be paying attention to. Read the next verse. Watch what he says.
Verse 6. For the son dishonoreth the father.
That's the same thing Christ said. Christ made reference to how you would have the son going against the father. Go ahead.
The daughter rises up against her mother.
Read.
The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Sound familiar? Go ahead.
A man's enemies are the men of his own house.
So your enemies will be in your own house, the people close to you. It's in the Old Testament and it's in the New Testament. You walking in the Spirit, you have to pay attention. You have to be very mindful of who you have around you because people are walking after the flesh. That's why when you read the book of Sirach, you're going to see something there. Let's go to Sirach chapter 6 and verse 6. People like to read Sirach 6 and 6, and the only thing they read it for is proven. Because the brother trying to get some or a sister trying to get some. But it's more to it in that chapter. There's more being discussed there. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 6.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 6. be in peace with many.
So this is not a message to say don't trust nobody and have no friends and don't deal with anybody. It says be in peace with many. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, have but one counselor of 1,000.
Meaning what? Out of 1,000 men, you have one man you can tell everything to, that you can trust, that is going to guide you, that is going to correct you. Go ahead.
If thou wouldest get a friend,
If you're going to have anyone you call your friend, what are you to do? Read.
prove him first,
Prove him first. Go ahead.
and be not hasty to credit him.
Read.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion,
And some of you have people around you because it benefits them. They're your friend for their own benefit, for their own ulterior motive. Because really, they're your enemy. We're going to see. It's going to say that. Go ahead.
and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Meaning they're going to sit there and they'll be cool with you, but when you fall, they'll put their hands up and say, I don't know why he did that. I had nothing to do with that. They won't take a bullet with you. Meaning get in trouble or go through the adversity with you. They're going to say that had nothing to do with me. These are the type of people that Christ also said, you got to love me more than this. You got to love me more than these people that may betray you, that may choose their lust over you. What is it going to be? You got to pick. And some of us, we get so caught up, this is my buddy. I like this person. This is my buddy. This is my buddy. This is my buddy. And you don't realize the people around you are around you because you benefit them sometimes. Keep going.
Verse 9. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife,
Meaning hatred, deep hatred. We're going to go over that later. Go ahead.
and strife will discover thy reproach.
When they get mad at you, they're going to give your secrets out. Read.
Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
Read.
But in thy prosperity, he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servants.
He going to take advantage of everything you get. He going to live like he you while you're good, while you're up. Go ahead. I give you a good example. Rappers always got a posse. Boxers got a posse. That's what that's going into. When you up, these people be around. They eat your food. They bringing the women over. They drinking. They going to the clubs. They using your name to get everything they need. But when you fall, they're nowhere around.
Damn.
Read.
Verse 12. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee.
If you be brought low, he will be against thee. Go ahead.
And will hide himself from thy face.
Read.
Separate thyself from thine enemies.
Now, Sirach says, separate thyself from thy enemies. Go ahead.
And take heed of thy friends.
And pay attention to the people that you call your friend. You call him your friend, right? He's telling you, watch him. Don't just be around them with your guard down, not aware of how they move and what they're doing. And it's important to do that for a couple reasons. We're going to go into that today. That's why we got to start with going over enablers. Because you may think, okay, I ain't got nobody that's wrong with me in my circle. Everybody around me is solid. But Christ told you have to pay attention to the foes that may come from your own household, the people close to you. Think about Christ. Where did his enemy come from? His main enemy was in his circle. You don't think you have to drink of that cup? Keep going.
Verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one have found a treasure.
Right. A faithful friend is a strong defense. So a friend is actually supposed to defend you or help you when there's adversity coming. You know the worst adversity that you can have is to be found on the wrong side of the Lord, like we was going over earlier. A friend is going to make sure you're not found on the wrong side of the Lord. But many of you have enablers around you, people that will never correct you when they see you going astray, that never have any advice or motivation for you to do better. You simply just get pats on the backs and hugs from them. And some of you, that's your circle. You have a circle full of enemies because you have a bunch of people who never defend you against sin. Read it again.
Verse 14. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one have found a treasure.
Read.
Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life.
The medicine of life to heal you is that correction, that guidance, that upholding in the law. That's what he's telling you there. A faithful friend is a defense. Keep going.
And they that fear the Lord shall find him.
Read.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall direct his friendship aright.
So he said, if you fear the Lord, you're going to direct your friendship aright. Read.
For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also.
Because what you got to understand is in this truth, we just read it. There's going to be people who are godly and there's going to be people who are ungodly. There's going to be people walking after their own lust, and there's going to be those that give up their lust to follow Christ. And he told you, I'm going to create variance between the people that are closest to you because of that matter. Because when I come and I start teaching this Bible, those that want to follow the Bible are going to find that the people closest to them do not want to follow what the Bible says. They don't want to keep order. So many of y'all in here, you got your friend, you got your buddy, you talk to them every day. But one day, you and that buddy, you're going to go through adversity. And the adversity is going to be that you got to keep the commandments of God in a situation. One of you may want to, the other may not want to. This is the environment you in. So it don't mean you don't trust anybody, but you are supposed to make your friends based upon their ability to keep the commandments. That's what it's about. Give me Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 10. Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 10. So many of you think, in your head, you like, okay, I found my friend. We came in here together. We was here around the same time. But these people around you, you should be proving them based upon their ability to keep the commandments and correct you and defend you against sin. That's what a friend is for. It's a faithful defense. Go ahead.
Jeremiah chapter 20 and verse 10. For I heard the defaming of many.
This is the slander that Jeremiah heard about him. Go ahead.
Fear on every side. Report, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watch for my halting.
Sometimes you have friends around you that are just around waiting for you to stop. They want you to fail. And the way you know that is if you have enablers around you. Because you may think that pat on the back is to your benefit. You may think, give me Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 15. You may think that pat on your back is to your benefit, that you get corrected, and then that brother calls you on the side and say, yeah, he ain't have to talk to you like that, man. He ain't have to say that to you, man. The officer's tripping, man. He should have said it nicer. I don't know what he's tripping about. You may think those little comments are to your benefit. You may say, man, that brother really got my back. He cheered me up. But what he just did was he caused you to grow hardened in your evil. And you didn't even catch it. You were told to do something godly, and you got men around you that tell you to keep following the devil, brother. I know that person correct you and told you need to get right, but then somebody call you on the side and say, it's not that bad, man. He's just tripping. You know how an officer be. He be tripping sometimes. And then you go home and say, yeah, that brother loved me, man. He called me and checked on me. But really that was Satan telling you stay in your sin. Proverbs 17 and verse 15.
Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 15. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are abomination to the Lord.
Right. So I just want the first part of that verse. He that justified the wicked, right? He that justified the wicked is an abomination to the Lord. That's what the verse is going into. If you're an enabler, the Lord said you're an abomination. To justify a man is to make an excuse for him. To tell him, I know you did something evil, but it ain't that bad, bro. It ain't like that. See, a lot of people, and that's what we're going to cover today, a lot of people, you going through things and you don't grow because of the circle around you. Because you ain't directed your friendship right. You keep people around you that when you get corrected, they say, oh, man, they was just tripping. It may even be your wives. It might be your kids. But you got people around you who, when you need to face consequences and go through things, tell you everything's good. They put you in a place where you don't feel like you got nothing to work on. And then you start to believe it. So that enablement, we're going to go into it today, it makes you an enemy with God. And it will lead to you leaving the truth eventually if you would continue to allow it to grow. Give me Psalms chapter 141 and verse 4. So instead of having those around you that love you, that correct you, you got people around you that always justify you. That's your circle. You wicked as hell. You getting blasted every Sabbath. But you got one person you call who tells you, you know how they be, man. Or leadership be tripping. And they keep telling you that. And you go with them over the 5 leaders that are telling you you're wrong. The 6 brothers that keep correcting you. Hell, you got people in the world calling you and correcting you. And you still say, it's just them. That's how they feel. Read what you got.
Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. We're looking for your support. Please donate please donate to the Booster Club. 646-982-3858. We got that good news you can use. Shalom.
Psalms 141 and verse 4. Incline not my heart to any evil thing, to practice wicked works with men that work iniquity.
These are the men that work sin. They enable you. Go ahead.
And let me not eat of their dainties.
Read.
Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness.
You see what the Bible said? Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. It is a good thing for me to be corrected. A lot of brothers don't think that way. They getting corrected, and then when they get corrected, they want to go inside. They got a shoulder to go and basically get an excuse as to why they're not right. And that brother will make them feel like that's not your fault. What you need in your circle is people who hold you accountable. That's the smiting. Bro, you know you said you was going to do that and you didn't do that, man. Don't come over here crying to me, but you don't got that in your circle. You got people, when you talk to them, they start crying with you. You complaining, they supposed to say, shut up, man. We just read about how the complainers and the mockers are the people who are going to die when the Lord return. And you got people like that in your circle. They call you and start complaining. Man, they always getting on me on the call, man. I don't know why they keep getting on me like that. They ain't had to do it like that. You right, bro. You know, it ain't nothing, no. You know what I mean? We going to make it through, man, because leadership be tripping sometimes. Those are the people in your circle. And you wonder why you ain't growing? You wonder why you can't overcome what you need to overcome? Because you have a lot of weak men and weak women around you. Emotional people that are ungodly. Read that.
Psalms 141 verse 5. Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamities.
Right. So now jump over. He said it shall not break my head. Give me Romans 1 and verse 32. He said it shall not break my head. A lot of y'all act like y'all die when y'all get corrected. Because somebody says something you ain't like. But that's what friendship is supposed to be based on. That's the love that the Bible's talking about. A lot of y'all don't want that love. You want the enablement love. So you create a circle full of people who just continually enable you and make you feel good on the inside. They make you feel warm and fuzzy. Romans 1 and verse 32.
Romans chapter 1 verse 32.
Let's go.
Who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death.
Right. These are the people, this thing went into a whole bunch of sins. 23 different spirits that lead to death. So in the end, Paul says, who knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death. Go ahead.
Not only do the same.
These people know that they're going to die from the evil that they do. They not only do the same, they do these sins. Go ahead.
But have pleasure in them that do them.
But they got no problem with you doing them either. Those are the type of people you got in your circle. Not only they dealing with it, you call them and you start complaining and they say, man, I didn't have to get on you for watching that porn, bro. Because, shoot, I'll be watching porn too. It ain't that big of a deal. We going to fix it.
The hell is this?
Instead of telling you, bro, we got to stop. You got the devil on you. They don't say that. And if they did, you might not call them back. They might call you and you might look at your phone and say, oh, man, what he calling about? He might be calling to get on me. I don't want him to be in my. Let me call a brother that makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. And then you say, damn, why am I not growing? Why am I starting to dislike this truth and feel like leadership is my enemy and feel like everybody's against me? It's because of that circle that you chose. Give me this now. Let's go to the world. Let's see what the world has to say. Let's look at the article on enablers. Pull that up. Let's read some of this.
What is an enabler? 11 ways to recognize one. The term enabler generally describes someone whose behavior allows a loved one to continue self-destructive patterns of behavior. This term can be stigmatizing, since there's often negative judgment attached to it. However, many people who enable others do not do so intentionally. They may not even realize what they are doing. Enabling usually refers to patterns that appear in the context of drug or alcohol misuse and addiction. But according to the American Psychological Association, it can refer to patterns within close relationships that support any harmful or problematic behavior and make it easier for that behavior to continue.
So in the context of this discussion, understand, in this class, we're talking about sin. You have people who enable you to continue to sin. Go ahead.
Enabling doesn't mean you support your loved one's addiction or other behavior. You might believe if you don't help, the outcome of everyone involved will be far worse. Maybe you excuse troubling behavior, lend money, or assist in other ways. But it is important to realize enabling doesn't really help. Over time, it can have a damaging effect on your loved one and others around them. It's difficult for someone to get help if they don't fully see the consequences of their actions. If you're concerned you might be enabling someone's behavior, read on to learn more about enabling, including signs, how to stop, and how to provide support to your loved one.
Read on a little bit more.
Enabling versus empowerment. It's not always easy to distinguish between empowering someone and enabling them. There may be little differences between the two. Most people who enable loved ones don't intend to cause harm. In fact, enabling generally begins with the desire to help. Enabling behaviors can often seem like helping behaviors. You may try to help with the best of intentions and enable someone without realizing it.
Okay, now scroll down. I want to get to 11 different ways. We're just going to read the headings real quick. All right, signs or characteristics of an enabler. Read that first one.
Number 1, ignoring or tolerating problematic behavior.
Okay, real quick. Give me Sirach 28 and verse 7. Many people, you ignore problematic behavior and the individuals around you in this body because in your mind, you're thinking, I don't want to correct them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be nice to them. I'm going to be kind. A lot of you say things like, I'm a wink at ignorance. Let's read the scripture so we know what I'm referring to.
Sirach chapter 28 and verse 7.
Come on.
Remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest and wink at ignorance.
Right. Many of you say I'm winking at ignorance, so I'm not going to correct them. I'm just going to be kind to them. I'm not going to say anything about it. But if they're doing the same thing 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 times, what it is now, it's intentional. It's become sin. It's become a habit. So rather than correct it, you're enabling it. You're making excuses for them. You provide ways for them to continue to do it. You adjust your pattern of behavior for their bad behavior. You have enabled them. You have made them twice the devil. Because if you would have said, yo, this is a bad behavior, they would have fixed it. But instead, you ignore it. So we're looking at this to see, okay, when I don't correct someone, I may be enabling sin. That's the reality of it. You are enabling sin. So this is on one hand, look at your circle, but also you got to look at yourself. You got to say, what type of man or woman am I? Am I somebody in the body who says I'm winking at ignorance and I don't correct the people around me? Let's keep reading the other titles.
2, providing financial assistance.
Right. Some of you may say, hey, I'm helping them out financially. Let me give him a couple dollars. You don't know if that brother gambling, hustling his money away. So I'm going to give him a couple dollars to help him out. Scroll down to 3. Let's keep going. I'm just reading the headers.
Covering for them or making excuses.
A lot of brothers like to do that. You be getting on somebody and correcting somebody, and another brother want to jump in and say, well, officer, it really wasn't his fault. Because they don't want to see him take no consequences. And we're going to watch a video on that later. Go ahead.
Taking on more than your share of responsibilities.
Right. Taking on more than your share of responsibilities. I'm not saying you shouldn't look out for your brother and not have their back, but some of you know a brother needs to be corrected. Instead of allowing that, you constantly jump out there for them as if they're never wrong. Well, you're the reason they behave the same way they do it. This is showing you 11 signs that you're an enabler. Go ahead.
Avoiding the issue.
Sometimes you avoid the issue. You know that brother's an issue. His tone, the way he talks to people, the way he carries himself. He always showing up late. You say, man, I ain't going to say nothing to that brother. I said something last time. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just going to keep it is what it is. You're enabling that environment. Go ahead.
Brushing things off.
You just say, I'm going to shake it off. That's that winking at ignorance again. Every single time. Go ahead.
Denying the problem.
Oh, man, it really ain't that bad. Don't worry about what leadership talking about. Go ahead.
Sacrificing or struggling to recognize your own needs.
You allow them to be so bad that you don't care that they're hurting you. Go ahead.
Not following through on consequences.
There's no consequences for their actions. Give me Sirach chapter 30 verse 12. A lot of you are like that with your kids. Your kids could do whatever. There's never a consequence for their actions. Sirach chapter 30 and verse 12.
Sirach chapter 30 and verse 12. Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child. lest he wax stubborn.
Lest he wax stubborn, meaning he becomes more stubborn because you don't discipline him. And the same thing happens when you're a leader over men that come in the congregation. You have to get on them harshly in order for them to develop good habits. If that doesn't happen while they're knowing the truth, they will become stubborn. Go ahead.
And be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart.
Okay, keep reading. We're going to read 10.
Number 10, not maintaining your stated boundaries.
Go down.
Feeling resentment.
Right. You feel bad or disappointed because you got to correct them. You got on them about something, and now you're like, oh, man, what was me? All right, give me the next video. Watch this. My 600-pound life. Come on. I'm trying to burn the fat, so I love these. This is motivation to get in the gym. Now, let's start at the 9-minute mark like I told you. Don't mess it up.
Ex-husband Gilbert, who actually went through a breakup while filming the episode for a shocking reason. Lupe Samano appeared in season 4 of the show, and at just 39 years old, weighed a staggering 642 pounds. Living out in California, her episode starts with a disturbing scene of her waking up with an oxygen mask on. The most shocking part about Lupe is just how short she is. At just 5 foot tall, the 642 pound frame meant that she was totally and utterly bedbound, and relies entirely on her husband Gilbert, who says he feels more like a carer.
I feel helpless. It's just me taking care of her more than us having a marriage. You know, I guess you could say intimacy is impossible. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be. But, you know, I love her, and that's what keeps me going.
Lupe has heart and kidney issues, as well as being diabetic, and has already fallen into a diabetic coma before, so it's safe to say she's quite literally on the verge of death due to her size. Despite this, Gilbert still waits on her hand and foot, and feeds her whatever she wants.
Pause it. She can't get no food. She can't get up and get food. I always watch this, right? What you're seeing is enablers. When you watch My 600-Pound Life, these people have the worst people around them. They 600 pounds. They can't go to the store, get nothing from the door, and somehow they're still eating.
Hell no.
So you got to examine. You got to say, hold on, wait. Let me look around me. What's going on? How do I continue to get bigger? After a while, it's people around you that ain't saying nothing to you.
You don't find that suspicious?
Because you've developed a circle that makes you feel good. That's what she had around her. But a lot of brothers, a lot of sisters, you got the same thing around you. You got people around you who will not check you, who won't say anything to you, who will not course correct you. So you got a lot of enemies in your circle. Hit play. I'm just leave that on the table. Go ahead.
Waits on her hand and foot and feeds her whatever she wants, which includes a full box of donuts, which is so full they had to wrap it with tape. And things get even worse when Lupe finally meets with Dr. Now.
What seems to be your biggest challenge with your eating habit?
I'm an emotional eater. I get bad anxiety, and then I'll eat food until I get sick.
Who brings you the food?
My husband, my family.
They don't realize that they are killing you?
No.
No?
I think they do, but they do it because they love me.
Okay.
As everyone acknowledges Gilbert is her enabler, Dr. Now emphasizes that Lupe must not gain any more weight, which initially goes alright, losing around 60 pounds in her first weigh. However, the next weigh-in did not go so well. While at a meeting with Dr. Now, she tries to use the toilet, and after trying for a while to squeeze into the actual room itself, she proceeds to get stuck in the toilet. This is due to the fact that after losing the initial 60 pounds, she gained another 82 pounds, putting her net weight gain at 20 pounds since starting the program. And we all know where all of this food has come from, Gilbert.
So you start over, because if you don't, you're not going to make it. I'm keeping you in the hospital to start controlled diet again. You're down to your last chance. Do you understand? This is such self-destructive behavior. And her husband, Gilbert, is helping to kill her. We'll need to address their dynamic in the long run. But for now, we need to get her health and her weight under control again.
This has been a bit of a wake-up call for me.
However, it seems like Gilbert wouldn't be given much of a chance to change after Lupe caught him flirting with girls.
All right, you
on
can turn this
Facebook,
off.
and he-
Eventually, they end up leaving each other because he was dealing with other women on the side. But that's not the point. Sirach 37 and verse 7. Let's read that. Gilbert is the problem. He's the problem. You know what he was getting? He was getting some of that SSI money. Gilbert had a place to stay. Right? I want you to see that. I wanted to stop right there. I don't want to go on to the drama, but I want you to see he was with her. He was feeding her. But think about it. She getting checks. She getting certain things. There's benefits. So Gilbert was around because of the benefits. Read that.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 7. Every counselor extolleth counsel, but there is some that counseleth for himself.
There's some around you that's going to counsel for their own benefit. Go ahead.
Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath.
You heard that. He said, I can't have intimacy with her. When we watch on the video, he says, I was texting those women because I was spreading the message of Jesus Christ. That's what he says to her. So I was spreading the message of the Lord, and if I'm going to send it through messages, that's what I need to do. And the woman said back to him, she said, well, I have women grabbing their breast and squeezing them on your video. That don't look like you're sending the message of Jesus.
The hell is this?
He said, that's what I'm doing. This is the stuff you got to realize. You got people around you that'll counsel you, enable you because it benefits them. Because they're getting something out the deal. And when you look at a lot of these people, you got to question, why would you keep giving that person that food? Why would you sit there and watch their behind and do all these different things?
You don't find that suspicious?
It's very suspicious. But those yes men come around because those are counselors that don't care about your destruction.
Damn.
Read verse 8 again.
Verse 8. Beware of a counselor, and know before what need he hath, for he will counsel for himself, lest he cast the lot upon thee.
Right, lest he cast a lot upon me. So you got people around you that are around you, and they continue to give you what you need. But ultimately what they're doing is they're enabling you. They're making you worse. Now, you could fall into one of those 11 signs we look like. You could be like a Gilbert in different ways. You might have a brother or sister that's dealing with something, and instead of you allowing them to change, you continue to give them resources and the room to be what they are. And a lot of you grew up with that. So when you think about your family, the wickedness you got to was because of the people that you grew up around. Watch this. Let's play the next video. The one with the blue shirt. Now we're going to go into the excuses part. So that was the enabler. Now we're going into excuses. Watch this. Hit play.
So I say this all the time, but a narcissist or toxic person's family are going to be the biggest enablers of that toxic person. Because who do you think created this narcissistic person? Where do you think the possible trauma came from that created this narcissist or this toxic person? So a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I tell them, like, hey, look, if you are having a problem with the narcissist, the last people, most times, you should contact are their family. Because if a narcissist hits you, you talk to their mom, like, your son hit me, or your daughter hit me. And they're like, what did you do to deserve that? My baby ain't like that. They wasn't raised that way, so you must have instigated that. Look, y'all need to sit down and talk. Don't call the police. Don't do nothing like that. They know who that person is. Yeah, sometimes they'll be there for you, but a lot of times they won't tell you to leave that person. They'll want you to stay, because if that person leaves, they might have to go back home to live with their parents, and their parents don't want them there. They would rather you have that burden than they do. It's their family. Their family doesn't owe you any kind of loyalty, so remember that, y'all. Stay.
All right, give me Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 17. Let's read that. So he's on point. He said the person that is narcissistic or doesn't believe that they have any issues or is toxic or is a damn sinner, the reason they like that is because of the people around them. They got people around them. And so what starts to form in their mind? I'm not like that. This is not me that's doing that. That's you. I'm not responsible for my own things. Proverbs 18 and verse 17. Watch what it says.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17.
Come on.
He that is first in his own cause seemeth just.
That's how a lot of brothers are. They make a mistake or they do something evil, and they're the first person to speak up on the cause as to why there was evil. And it sounds damn good. Because what they've developed, because of all the excuses around them, is a mindset to not take responsibility, to not take accountability. So they will tell a story and they will speak on things and they will make the story seem like I ain't do nothing wrong. You think about it. You look at the story of History of Susanna when the two elders gave the story. They seemed just because they were the first ones to speak up on the cause. This is how many of y'all are. You got enablers around you, and they've developed you to a point where you're excellent at excuses. The first thing out of your mouth when you get corrected is excuse, not the accountability mindset. It's not, you know what, I'm wrong, man. I need to work on myself, da-da-da. The first thing out your mouth is, nah, that couldn't have been me because that brother did X, Y, and Z. That's how you get to that finger pointing, that grudge holding, that anger at somebody else. It's everyone's fault but you.
The hell is this?
Because you have a circle, and you had a circle of enablers, and you came in the truth and found another group of them. You ain't looking for people to hold you accountable. You're looking for someone to pat you on the back.
Oh, hey, Shalom, I didn't see y'all there. I mean, since you're here, got this nice button down here. It's brand new. We just added it to the house, right? Make sure you go ahead and scan that. That's the IUIC Booster Club. I know you see the videos. We're doing all types of work all over the earth, and we need your support. We need your help. Scan that and donate. All right. Shalom, y'all. Most High in Christ bless.
Give me Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 4. And a lot of the time, what it goes back to is this. We're going to see Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 4. Because you know who he was mocking when he was talking there, but we're going to show you in the scriptures. That wasn't nobody's daddy. Isaiah 3 and verse 4.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 4.
Let's go.
And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them.
Right. The young men shall rule over them. Jump over to verse 12. But who ruled over the young men? The young OG in your neighborhood, or the person who you thought taught you something. Read verse 12. Watch who ruled over that man. Go ahead.
Verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Children are their oppressors. Go ahead.
And women rule over them.
And women are their enablers. A lot of you got wives that's enabling you right now. Your mother enabled you. Some of you might let your daughters, your older daughters, your younger daughters enable you.
Damn.
You ain't bad, daddy. It's not a problem. You know that happened because of this, and this. You never had no people around you to hold you accountable because your mother never held you accountable. And now when men in the truth hold you accountable, you have a grudge. You're angry because you want your excuses to work because they always made excuses for you. Think about it. The killers be on TV. They kill all type of people, right? They shot 30 people in the hood. Everybody knows it. And then they get shot down the street and they mother on TV. I don't know what happened, man. Ray was a good kid. Then the next person they go to be their aunt. Their aunt be there. Oh, God, not Ray. That wasn't the father that man was mocking in the shirt when we watched that video. Because the father would be like, oh, my son a killer. He got what was coming to him. You see what I'm saying? If there was a father there, the father would have been very direct. He would have had those conversations about what was going to happen. He would have told them there's going to be a consequence for your actions. And a lot of y'all don't want that. Y'all want people to enable your behavior. Oh, I know you cheating on women and sleeping on all type of women, but I don't want you doing it out there. Just bring them to my basement. I know you shooting people up and down, but you got to stop that. You could drink at the house. Just bring your friends to the house and drink. I'm telling you, y'all know mothers like this. To this day. To this day is absolutely right. Y'all grew up doing evil because your mothers enable you, and then instead of taking accountability, you learn the practice of excuses. You are excellent at them now. And that ain't going to work with God. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. So if you make a circle, give me Sirach chapter 32 and verse 17. Now you want to create a circle in the body coming out of the world, and you say, I need a circle that when I make an excuse, they continue to enable me. They don't hold me accountable. They don't push through that excuse. They just let me make that excuse, and they accept it as fact. Sirach 32 and 17.
Sirach chapter 32 and verse 17.
Let's go.
A sinful man will not be reproved.
You can't be corrected. You know why? Because your mother never was correcting you. You grew up your whole life without people correcting you. So you will never be reproved. You'll never allow your accountability to sink in. You won't allow it to because you'll make an excuse. You'll justify yourself because people have been justifying your evil your entire life. And now you want the men of God to justify your evil. You want the big sisters, the senior sisters in the body, and the sisters that have been here for a while to justify why you act like a hood rat every Sabbath. You want somebody to justify it. Why you fat. Nobody's going to justify that. We got to work on ourselves. That's the whole point. And you need a circle around you that's not going to justify you, but it's going to hold you accountable.
That's right.
Read it again.
A sinful man will not be reproved, but findeth an excuse according to his will.
Read.
A man of
No, that's it. That's all I wanted there. Give me the next video. Watch this. Dave Ramsey. Hit play.
enablers are the nicest people in the world. They're sweet people that don't know how to say no. And then they enable bad behavior. And so while you were trying to be a help, you end up being a curse in their life.
He said the people that enable you end up being a curse in your life. Give me Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5. Let's see if that's in the Bible.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High Christ bless. Hey, we need you to support the Booster Club. We have men traveling all over the world. All that takes money. You can support right here. Right here. The number is 646-982-3858. That's 646-982-3858. Remember, we ain't no homeborn slave. We got to get out there and get the word out. Shalom.
Let's see if that's in the Bible. He said they end up being a curse in your life. So many of you, you got people around you who are cursing your life. You trust on them more than you trust on God. And you in the truth with friends like this, who when you do something wrong and leadership gets on you, you go and murmur and complain to them. And y'all have a good sob fest for about an hour, hour and a half, and you never change your behavior. And you wonder why you're not growing. It's because your friendship has not been directed aright. Read what you got.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
And that's what an enabler is, somebody to trust in outside of God. That's what that enabler is, because God say don't do this. The enabler will say, well, it's not your fault you did that. I'm going to help you keep doing that. That really ain't on you. The enabler will allow that excuse to grow in you. And you'll start to trust on that enabler. Every time you make the excuse and you feel down, you know you can call that enabler. And you know you can make an excuse to them. And they're going to say, yeah, I know what leadership said to you, but I understand why you had to do that. Your excuse is valid to me. And the excuse now is what sticks in your head. You stop thinking about the accountability of your actions because you find you a nice shoulder and a person that's going to allow your BS to continue. But God ain't going to allow it to continue. That's why he said this. Read it again.
Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord.
Because you depart from the accountability and the fear of the Lord, and you start to lean on, this person made me feel like that's not an issue. I'm going to stop thinking about it. They're right. That felt good. You stop thinking about the accountability that's going to come from your actions, and you start to lean on the excuse. Psalms 118 and 8. 118 and verse 8.
Yes, sir. Psalms chapter 118 and verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man.
You see that? It's better to trust in the Lord than to put your confidence in a man. That's what the Bible says. Bible says it's better to trust in the Lord. Give me Jeremiah 7 and 8 now. Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 8.
Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 8. Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit.
That's many of us. You trust in lying words. We trust in lying words a lot of the time. We getting enabled to do wickedness and somebody lie to you and tell you, oh, it ain't your fault. It's all good, man. Oh, don't worry about that, what they just said. They pat you on your back. You be like, okay, bro. You right.
That's a setup, bro.
It's damn sure set up. Because now you start trusting in that rather than the consequences if you don't get it right. Read that again.
Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit.
Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 4. So you put these people around you and your excuse grows and it grows and you start trusting in that lie. You start to say, this lie sounds better than what the Bible said. Whenever I get mad and I'm in my feelings or I feel like I'm getting held accountable, I remember the person that lied to me and that enabled me. Damn what the Bible says. Proverbs 17 and verse 4.
Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 4.
Come on.
A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips.
Because you're doing evil, because you want to find an excuse according to your will, you'll give heed to false lips. Go ahead.
And a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue.
Right. And now you start listening to wicked people speaking. Because you want to live that lie. You say, yo, it's not my fault. You find an excuse according to your own will, but really it's just a lie you came up with. It's the excuse. So you start to listen to people who start making excuses for you.
The hell is this?
And you become a master at it. You start walking around saying, yo, I'm not doing nothing wrong, actually. And you believe that in your mind. And that's how we get to the next phase, where you become enemies with God. Now you go from having an enabler to making those excuses to now you are at variance with the Lord, like we read about in the beginning. Give me Proverbs chapter 27, verse 6. It's because you got these type of people around you. 27 and 6.
Yes, sir. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful.
Them kisses look like those lies that you get. They tell you, hey, bro, it ain't really that bad, man. I know leadership got on you, but you're going to be all right. You ain't really do that on purpose, so, you know, you ain't even got to worry about it, man. You ain't got to fix nothing, man. You're going to be all right. He's just tripping. So you don't see the fear of the Lord in getting corrected or needing to fix things in your spirit or the possible consequences of your actions. Instead, the enemy is lulling you back to sleep. And when I say the enemy, I mean Satan first and foremost, but he acts in the form of someone you call your friend. Proverbs 29 and verse 5.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 5. A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet.
You got people like that around you, always talking about all the good you do. They never get on you for what you need to improve, what you need to work on. It's just, oh, yo, bro, you good at this, you good at that. You doing all right with that. You doing good with this, you doing good with that. But they never have a word as to what you can improve on. These are enemies. This is telling you that. If they're flattering you, they're spreading a net for your feet. That's why when people run up on you, man, I watched your class, man, that class was fire. Okay, all praises, brother, apply it. Because really what it is, it's a trap. Some of y'all want praise for your camp videos or for what you do in the school. You want a pat on the back. Not realizing this will cause you to be at variance with God. This flattery will puff you up to the point where you're now accepting your excuses and you're at variance with God. You're his enemy now. Read Proverbs 26 and 23. A whole lot of Proverbs in this class.
Proverbs chapter 26 and verse 23. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like a potsherd covered.
28 and 23.
Yes, sir.
You got to know what I want when I don't know what I want.
Yes, sir.
Proverbs 28 and 23.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 23. He that rebuketh a man afterwards shall find more favor than he that flattereth with the tongue.
You see that? But if you are the man to rebuke your friends, to get on them, the Lord said you'll find more favor than those that flatter with their tongue. So we got to look at that. Are we the enabler? Or are we the person that's going to rebuke our neighbor because we want to find favor with the Lord? Because that's love at the end of the day. A lot of us don't view it like that. We view it as a hatred or we got a problem with the brother. But in reality, what we're trying to do is make them better. Give me Psalms chapter 12 and verse 2. Psalms 12 and verse 2. Let's look at this.
Psalms chapter 12 and verse 2. They speak vanity, every one, with his neighbor, with flattering lips, and with a double heart do they speak.
Right, because they have ulterior motives. And these are the enemies of God it's talking about. So a lot of people that are flattering you don't really have God in their mind. They're not thinking the right way. This is first and foremost going into the wicked, but people that flatter you ain't really looking at what you got to do better. Go ahead.
Verse 3. The Lord shall cut off all flattering lips.
You see what the Lord said? I'm going to cut off all flattering lips. Go ahead.
And the tongue that speaketh proud things.
And the person that's puffed up and proud, that's first and foremost going into the wicked. But you know what they do? They start flattering you so much that they make you feel proud. And you start flattering. And you only talk about the good in a brother and the flattering part. But you never get on him about what he needs to fix. So you allow his evil to stay. And then he becomes an enemy of God. And a lot of you brothers, those are the people you like to have in your circle. That's how you end up committing adultery. I'm going to show you something. Give me Proverbs chapter 7. A lot of y'all, I think it's verse 21, a lot of y'all end up committing adultery because you like flattery. Because you like someone to tell you, oh, man, you know, that's a nice, oh, I like your haircut. Oh, I like the way your uniform looks today. Those boots are really nice. I like your jacket. You want that all the time. So you create a circle around you to give you that. And women ain't stupid. They know exactly how to do that. Proverbs 7 and verse 21.
Proverbs chapter 7 and verse 21. With her much fair speech
With her fair speech. Go ahead.
She caused him to yield.
She caused him to break down. Go ahead.
With the flattering of her lips.
With the what?
With the flattering of her lips.
Read.
She forced him.
That's how a woman gonna get some of y'all. Some of y'all gonna commit adultery because you like to be flattered.
That's a setup, bro.
Because you like to be flattered. Because of the fact you don't want people around you that tell you what you got to work on and that keep it real with you. You want a circle of flattery. So when the woman does, you say, at least I'm getting it from that woman. At least she's giving me the attention. And the attention ain't really about the attention. It's about somebody bigging your head up. You want somebody to tell you how great you are all the time. Because you fall into that trap of Satan. So a lot of you brothers is in it. And you're going to become enemies to God because instead of you getting corrected and fixing yourself, you're getting that flattery and that enablement, and you're starting to make excuses, and the end result for you is that you become an enemy of God. That's where you're headed. That's the path you on. Give me 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 10. I'm going to just show you some examples. 1 Kings 12 and verse 10.
Book of 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse 10. And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto the people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loin.
Right. So now you got these young men who gassed his head up. They start telling him, you're going to be bigger than your pops, bruh. And he ran with it. And he broke up the whole southern and the northern kingdom through his ignorance and his pride. He destroyed things based on his pride. Give me Acts chapter 5 verse 19. I'm going to start skipping through things. Here go a man that was enabled. When you read about Ananias and Sapphira, we're just going to jump to the point. Acts chapter 5 and verse 19. This is about a husband and a wife, where the husband said, we're going to be deceitful. And watch this now. Acts 5 and verse 19.
Acts chapter 5, verse 19.
Come on.
But the angel of the Lord by night opened.
Oh, verse 9, sorry.
Verse 9. Then Peter said unto her, How is it that ye have agreed together to tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, the feet of them which have buried thy husband are at the door, and shall carry thee out.
So the point I want you to see is that she agreed. A lot of you wicked women, instead of causing your husband to go back the right way, you enable them. You go with their deceit, you go with their evil. And then they end up dead. They end up an enemy to God. Because you ain't a pillar for them to keep them from sinning. You are actually one that enables them to continue sinning. Some of you wives got to check yourselves. And some of you brothers, you looking for a wife so bad, not realizing, let me make sure that I don't want a woman who just flatter me and go with whatever I say first and foremost. You haven't even developed that in yourself. You still take flattery and enablement, and you take that and you say, okay, I'm going to run with these excuses that these people creating for me, rather than looking to be held accountable all the time. That's how you know you're becoming a man. I create a circle that holds me accountable, and I want to be held accountable. And I want a wife and a family that's going to hold me accountable to my role and responsibility. Some of y'all don't want that responsibility, though. You want to grow into a man who has a bunch of people who just keep telling you, yes, yes, you're great, yes, you're great, yes, you're great. And your end result is you're going to be an enemy of God. Just like we read in here with Ananias and Sapphira, just like we read before when we read in 1 Kings and we read about Solomon's son, Rehoboam, right? Those are two examples of men that and a woman that became an enemy of God because of their inability to go against sin. All right, we're going to jump on. Give me that video, the next video. Here's a video that the brother goes into some of it as well. This is a Christian, but the Christian understands it better than some of you brothers and sisters. Come on.
I don't know who need to hear this, but stop enabling your friends. Some of us are standing literally in the way of God because we continue to be a crutch in our friendships. Sometimes your friends have to learn the hard way so they can find the God way. People are not going to come to Christ unless they bump their heads. How in the world you got a testimony? You telling people how gracious God was and how much mercy he had on you and how he kept you out of certain situations even when you was doing wrong, and you won't give them the opportunity to do the same thing. You have to allow for people to make dumb decisions. Listen, when you tell somebody, I wouldn't do that if I was you, when you give them a good word of advice, leave them alone after that. At that point, it's up to them. And then when they come crawling to you, trying to get you to get them out of the situation, it's not always your time to help them. We have to be more of a shoulder to cry on than a source to get people out of a situation. Because what happens is, for a lot of people, they use the friendship that they're in because they got a God-fearing friend, they got a friend who got things together. So when that person gets in a situation, now what happens is they come calling you, and you come running to get them out the situation. But what I'm telling y'all, God is saying is, I need you to get out of my way. For a lot of us, the Lord is saying, I need you to please get out of my way, because there's consequences on the other side of what they're dealing with that is going to lead them back to me. In the word of God, it says that a righteous man falls 7 times to get back up.
I wanted more, but for time, we're going to cut it. Give me Hosea chapter 5, and we're going to read verse 15. No, Hosea 5 and 15. It's all good.
The book of Hosea, chapter 5 and verse 15.
Let's go.
I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense.
That's the key thing in what he said. In order for them to acknowledge their offense, they have to feel the consequence of offending God. That's how you acknowledge, I was wrong, Lord. I got to get myself together, Lord. I'm in a position that I cannot get out of. I need you. I have to humble myself and come back to you. Go ahead.
And seek my face in their affliction. They will seek me early.
When they're going through it, then they're going to seek God. That's what he's telling you, hit it. After they go through it, they're going to seek God. Give me 2 Chronicles chapter 19 and verse 2. Here's an example of a man that helped somebody that didn't need to be helped. 2 Chronicles 19 and 2.
2 Chronicles chapter 19 and verse 2. And Jehu, the son of Hanani the seer, went out to meet him and said to King Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate the Lord? Therefore is wrath upon thee from before the Lord.
Right. The Lord is going to judge you behind you helping those that are evil. You're going to face that judgment. You're going to face that punishment because you're following the evil and you're saying, okay, it's not that bad, bro. It's not that bad. Now you become an enemy with God. And some of you that enable people, you don't realize that now you're God's enemy as well. Because God is trying to punish them, and instead of allowing them to go through the punishment, you make a way out of it. So the Lord said, okay, you made a way out of it, now you my enemy too. You on the wrong side of God too. So some of you enablers don't realize you go against God when somebody gets counseled or corrected, and you go behind the counsel and correction and say, it's not that big of a deal, bro. What you're really doing is saying, God told me that you ain't got to fix it. God said, okay, bet, I'm going to kill both of y'all then. Both of y'all going to die behind that. Give me Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 12. So what we got to realize is, through those excuses and ultimately becoming those enemies of God by sinning over and over again, you lead people to a place where they get hardened in their sin. Read that. Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 12.
Hebrews chapter 3 and verse 12. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart of unbelief.
That's what happens when they continue to sin. Go ahead.
In departing from the living God.
They'll depart from the Lord. Go ahead.
But exhort one another.
Exhortation is not just, hey, brother, you could do better. Or I like the way you did it. Exhortation is that correction, that rebuke we need to get better. That's what that exhortation is. You're doing this wrong. You got to fix it, bro. That's exhortation. Go ahead.
But exhort one another daily while it is called today.
Read.
Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
Lest anyone around you be hardened in sin. Why? Because nobody correct them. Everybody said they was doing good. Everybody enabled them. And what it causes, give me Luke chapter 19 and verse 27. This is where you end up. You end up in a position of now you're set up for death and destruction. Because you had a friend that you thought was your friend that was really your enemy that was setting you up to be hardened through sin. Read that.
Luke chapter 19 verse 27. But those mine enemies, which would not that I should reign over them.
That the Lord's laws didn't take effect in them. That they didn't follow what the Lord told them to do while he left. The people that didn't want Christ to reign in their mind, go ahead.
Bring hither and slay them before me.
I'm going to kill all of them. So that's what a lot of you got friends around you that's doing. Give me the next video. I got a little bit more, and then we wrapping it up.
So I was thinking to myself, right? Since my man said we have to be accountable for other people's actions and stuff like that, right? And I agree with that to some extent, but I want to ask this question. Why are there so many enablers? Why are there so many people who enable bad behavior or behavior that they know themselves wouldn't do? Let me give you an example. Why do we, as a culture, continue to enable slaughtering each other and putting it on social media? Let me give you a different example.
Okay, you could cut it. Give me James chapter 4. That was enough. Right? He's going to go into different examples. But the point he's making is why there's so many people that enable you to do evil and they push that. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. That's what we have in the truth as well. Why there's so many people that when you get corrected want to pat you on your back and not tell you to fix yourself? They're enabling your sin. And ultimately what they're going to lead you to is going against God. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Come on. Be not deceived. Evil communications corrupt good manners.
Those evil communications will cause you to have an evil mind. What it will lead to, give me James chapter 4 and verse 4. This is what it leads to. It'll cause you to go against God. You keep getting told, okay, yeah, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. James 4 and verse 4.
James chapter 4 and verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with God?
Enmity goes into deep hatred. It means you going against God. You hate God. If you love this world, you hate God. And you got people around you who will enable you, get you to the point where you start making excuses. You become an enemy of God, and ultimately you end up hating his truth. You end up saying, I hate being corrected. I like the world better. I want to go back. It was better there. There was more people that enabled me and looked out for me, and it was more fun there. Now I'm in this body, they getting on me, and they trying to make me better and da-da-da. Because what it is you've grown to a point where you hate God and you love the world. Keep going.
Whosoever, therefore, will be a friend of the world is the enemy of God.
Right. Whosoever is a friend of the world will be an enemy of God, right? Give me Leviticus 19 and 17.
The book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17.
Let's go.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Right. You shouldn't hate your brother in your heart. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Read.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. The Bible says you should love your neighbor as you love yourself. And a lot of us, we don't correct our neighbor. So what that goes back to? Hatred. It goes back to the fact that you don't love your neighbor at all. Sirach 33 and verse 2. And if you don't love your neighbor, what you allow them to do is develop a deep hatred for the truth. You allow them to grow to a point where they despise the people that do correct them, because they've created a circle of enablers. And when you come from outside that circle and say something to them, what you do is you're the enemy now. Go ahead.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse 2. A wise man hateth not the law, but he that is a hypocrite therein is as a ship in a storm.
He is as a ship in a storm, meaning what? He's rocking left to right, left to right. He's unstable in this walk. Why? Because he hates the laws of God. That's why he can never get right. You wonder why that brother's so rocky? Because he got enablers around him. And now when you correct him and you get on him, now he's shaky. He's ready to lead the truth. He don't like it here no more because it's not comfortable. It don't make him feel good on the inside. It don't make him warm and fuzzy because he doesn't like that correction. And ultimately what it is he hates Christ. Proverbs chapter 8 verse 36. And get that last video ready. Proverbs 8 and 36.
Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 36. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All they that hate me love death.
Everyone that hates me, meaning Christ, they love death. And that's what a lot of people grow to the point of. They got those enablers who empower them to make excuses. And then what it leads to is they're the enemies of the Lord. And then they hate Christ and start to love death. That's what's growing in a lot of y'all. And it starts with the circle you're around, because you got the wrong people around you. Now let's play this video.
Enabling people that you love keeps them exactly where they're at. Enabling is when you're helping someone that you love, your family, your friends, in a way that prevents them from experiencing the natural consequences of their action. In order for someone to change, their suffering and their pain has to be experienced so much so that they wouldn't want to live in it anymore. So every time you people please and you come in with your rescue cape on and you try to save people, it takes that burden and that load of pain from them. And again, if you ever want someone to change, their suffering, their pain has to be felt. It has to be so overwhelming that they want to do something about it. So when you swoop in and try to save, it only keeps them in their cycles longer. When you enable someone, you tell them you can't figure this out on your own. You can't survive the pain or the suffering on your own. So I'm going to take the load or the burden from you. And that's not loving. So what you get to do is restrain your empathy for the people that you love and start to see them as sovereign beings that can survive the pain or the suffering that they're going through so that they can make a conscious choice to choose differently, so that they can wake up one day and start to take the steps to choose a different life. And out of love, you get to do that instead of people pleasing and enabling.
All right. Give me Sirach 2 and verse 5.
The book of Sirach chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire.
That's how you become gold. You get tried in the fire. Go ahead.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
So the sisters are on point. In order for you to become better, you need to go through that accountability. You need to feel the pain and the consequence of your actions. That's why it's so important. Give me Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 20. It's so important that you create a circle around you that's going to hold you accountable. That's going to make sure that whatever you're doing wrong, they call you out on it. You don't want a bunch of people around you that make you feel good even though you got the devil on you. Read what you got.
Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
Right. You're going to die because you got men amongst you that are fools, that enable you, that justify your wickedness instead of holding you accountable. Matthew chapter 16, verse 23. Not last one. We got 3 more, then we wrapping it up. Matthew 16, verse 23. So always be mindful of your circle. In order for you to grow, you need those people that are like what the sister said. When you go into your consequence, yeah, you could talk to them. You could tell them what's wrong with you, but they're not going to just let you off the hook. They're going to hold you accountable. Read what you got.
Matthew 16, chapter 16, verse 23. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, Satan. Thou art an offense unto me, for thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men.
You see how Christ was about his circle? He wanted men around him that loved the things that God loved. He didn't want men around him that loved the things that men love. And this made Peter better. This made Peter better. It allowed Christ to go on to get his mission done because he ain't had people in his circle that was weak. He didn't allow people to enable him and say, you know what? You don't got to die for the nation of Israel. You're going to live forever. He said, no, get away from me, Satan, because I know you're the devil, because you're trying to enable me to go on my feelings and emotions, and I got a job to do. That's what you need around you. You need men around you. You got to roll like Christ when you got men that's patting you on the back. Give me Joel chapter 2 and verse 7 real quick. No, Philippians 2 and verse 2, sorry.
The book of Philippians chapter 2 and verse 2. Fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind.
So we all got to be of one mind, one accord, right? And the way we're going to do that is by correcting one another, by not enabling each other, but getting on each other when we're wrong and fixing one another through the laws of God. Go ahead.
Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory.
We ain't just trying to be the man and get flattered, and we ain't trying to do it because we want to argue with you and tell you what's wrong about you, but because we got love for one another. Go ahead.
But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves.
You got to see that brother better than you, not someone that can't go through adversity and become better. You got to see that when they go through this is going to make them a better man, a better leader, a better father, a better big brother, a better big sister, a better mother, a better aunt, whatever that may be. Go ahead.
Look not every man on his own things.
Don't just look at yourself and what you need to counsel for, or how you can benefit, or what you need to do to get ahead. Go ahead.
But every man also on the things of others.
Look at your brother and really empower them, like we read earlier, to be better. Push them to be greater than they ever been. Go ahead.
Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus.
And if we do that, we be rolling in the spirit of Christ. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the class. Hopefully you got something out of the class. Shalom, family. Most High in Christ bless.
What is the nation? Someone used to say
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is